Alright, when you clicked on this video, I'm sure you might have been looking like for a college campus brawl or something like that happened in Colorado. I can assure you that's not what it is. What we are going to do is compare two college towns that are here in Colorado. We're going to talk about some similarities, some differences, comparing the two and see which one you like most.
All right, let's go.
If this is your first time, we are your Colorado real estate family, Pete and Chelsea Sweeney, and what we'd like to do on this channel is cover Denver and all of its surrounding cities, giving you everything that you must know if you plan on calling this beautiful state your next home.
Yeah, so if that is what you're interested, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and hit the notification bell so you're notified every single time we put out a new video.
And if you are looking at purchasing real estate here in Colorado, give us a call or text the phone number right below. Right below right there, we always answer, doesn't matter day or time.
All right, I have to tell you, I'm so excited about this video. I hope you are too, because we are talking about this Golden and Boulder similarities, differences. So if you are trying to get nestled into our beautiful Rocky Mountains, these are the two cities that are usually at the top of your list. And we talk about it, we've kind of talked about it in our Boulder videos, talking about Golden. We've talked about Boulder in our Golden videos, and now we're gonna bring it straight into a video for you, comparing all of it, which I get excited about because I love Golden. And Boulder is not something that I spend a lot of time in. However,
Golden's pretty fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. I don't mean to sound biased whatsoever.
However, Golden is now the new Boulder, so we've got to start talking about the similarities.
Yeah, so the biggest similarity obviously is the fact that they are both college towns. You have the Colorado School of Mines that's over in Golden, and you have CU Boulder, which is over in Boulder.
Boulder.
And that campus is like 3 to 4 times larger than School of Mines. School of Mines is a little bit smaller of a college. It's kind of like shows how much smaller Golden is as compared to Boulder. Another similarity that Chelsea kind of already hit on is the fact that these are two front range cities. I will tell you though, so like Boulder has the flat irons, those beautiful, gorgeous flat irons that are right there. It's all in view. But the backside of it, there is no, I mean, there's like small foothills. If you go over to Golden, you are nestled in foothills. It's literally like this huge kind of area where you're surrounded by foothills. Super beautiful there. I think that there has something to do with that, the wind, because you always see the paragliders that are like all kind of going all within this little, what would you call it, like a little ravine or something like that. That is Golden, Colorado.
The other most obvious thing about these two cities is you are going to have two cities that are very active. Yep. Both of them have, all of the river sports. You're going to have Clear Creek in Golden, and you're going to have Boulder Creek over in Boulder. So with that, obviously, you're going to have all of your kayaks. You're going to have some people who just come down to walk along it. You're going to have day swimmers. What else? What else do you do on a river?
Brian, you got pretty much, they have these little swimming holes for every waterfall, so you obviously people like swimming. Quick note on that though is when we do have that melting of the snow coming down and stuff like that, most of the time recently, because we've had a few deaths of drownings that are happening in Clear Creek, they shut that down. Same with over in Boulder Creek. But when it's not like that, like say middle of summer, you can go over there and just enjoy Clear Creek. It's fantastic. They also, like I mentioned, they have the paragliding that's super popular over in Golden. They have a ton of shopping down the downtown, which we are going to cover the downtowns a little bit later on in this video, but you got all the shopping that happens over there. We actually watched some college sports over there. It was amazing. So you can go to either one. You can go to CU, football game, or you got everyone face painted and all that stuff, whatever. Yes. Or you can go over to the School of Mines. It's a little bit more low key,
a little more reserved.
Yeah, a little bit more reserved,
The second thing that we have to cover is going to be the comparison of the cities in size.
Yeah, and so when we talked about those college numbers, right, in regards to CU as compared to School of Mines, the square mileage of Golden versus Boulder is very similar, where Golden, you got 9.7 square miles of area. If you go over into Boulder, you got about a little bit over 27 miles. It's about a third of the size in regards to your area from Golden over into Boulder. Now let's talk about the population. What's that population look like?
The population in Golden is going to be about 19,400, which has actually decreased 1,000 since 2019, which is crazy.
It is crazy.
If you're looking over in Boulder, it's going to be about 102,000, which is significantly larger. However, also had a larger decline since 2019 at 5,000.
Yeah, it's crazy to think. Okay, so like Boulder, I think the prices is what's really driven people out of there. Golden might be similar, where Golden used to be a pretty affordable place in comparison to the few of the surrounding cities, Lakewood, Littleton, and all those, where now it's since become so popular, prices have went up, it's moved a few locals out of the city of Golden.
Now that segues into the third thing that we're going to be talking about, and that is cost of living. This is probably one of the most important things you need to understand between the two cities.
If this is your first time hearing one of our cost of living, this isn't the cost of living video, but what we like to do is, you pretty much, if it goes, you got 100, which is your national average. If it's above that, it's more expensive than your national average. If it's below it, then it's cheaper than your national average.
If you look at Golden's overall cost of living, it's going to be a 149.6. If you jump over to Boulder, it's going to be 167.5. So it is still more expensive in Boulder overall. Let's break that down a little bit more.
Yeah, so pretty much what I did, instead of going over all of the cost of living, I just took two main factors. And so Golden had one that stood out that was more expensive than Boulder, and Boulder had one that definitely stood out that was more expensive in regards to Golden. So the one that was over in Golden that's more expensive was your transportation. And in Golden, you're looking at a 113, so above national average for sure. If you go over to Boulder, it's only a 95.2. Boulder has been great. If you want to look back, we just created a video on Boulder probably about a few days, or I guess a week ago, talking about how they do have public transit down there. That probably contributes to the fact that this number is a little bit lower. Now, where does Boulder definitely shine when it comes to cost of living? Obviously the real estate. And so Boulder, it hasn't been as bad as it has been. So August was a bad month for Boulder in regards to that median sales price. It did lower quite a bit. It was actually down 21% year over year. We're talking August of 2022 over into August of 2023. But still with that, the cost of living over there is a 319. So that's definitely way higher than the national average. If you go over into Golden, you've got a 254, and this is just home ownership. Typically when we do this number, it incorporates rentals, but this one does not. This is just home ownership. Let's kind of break into some median sales prices. We're going to do the two overall numbers for the sake of time. So the overall median sales price over in Golden is $815,000. The median sales price over in Boulder is $849,000. These numbers are as of August of 2023. That number is definitely much higher in July over in Boulder. I just think they had a down month or something like that. Expect those numbers to definitely change when we're looking at those September numbers, because if I look at the median list price, which is houses that were listed but not quite sold yet, it was up in $1.5 million.
Now I will talk a little bit about like home characteristics really quick about the two cities. This is going to be something which we're going to talk about downtowns in a minute. However, you are going to get very similar looking houses for the two cities because they do have a lot of Victorian style houses the closer you get to downtown, and then you're going to get into the like nice custom homes, whether you're in the mountains or
super
on
modern, and like, oh yeah.
And then also in Golden, you will see like a lot of stone and like just sometimes up on top of the hills and that surround all of Golden, some of those custom builds. So you are going to be able to get a little bit of everything from small square footage with the accessibility to a little further away from the downtowns and get more of that custom larger square foot home.
The fourth comparison that we're going to be talking about are the downtowns in each of these cities.
Now, this is where I think the largest differences are between these two cities. When you're going over to Golden, this is going to be like this Western, laid back kind of, how do I describe it?
It looks like the Wild Wild West.
It does.
They have a Buffalo Bill Days over there, and it's quaint. They have antique shops.
They have like Labrador Day, the dog Labrador. You know what I'm saying? Like just really wholesome, fun, just kind of small town feel activities that they're doing or events that they're doing. And it is like, when you go in the downtown of Golden, you're going to kind of just instantly start climbing, and then there's like a hill at the end of it. Whereas when you're over in Boulder, this is going to be a lot more bougie. You're going to have anything from like hippie style all the way up to like nice, like affluent dress.
Super nice, yeah.
Like very bougie kind of, this is Pearl Street, right? Like this is what everyone talks about with like Pearl Street, downtown Boulder. You're going to have all of the name brands. And let me tell you, there are name brands in Boulder. And if you're wearing your, the Patagonia?
Patagonia.
I don't own one.
Patagonia?
Yeah, anyways, like if you don't have one, I'm not sure you can live in Boulder, guys. I'm just not sure. But I'm just saying they're very brand driven in Boulder. You're either going to get full on hippie or full on brand when you're there because it's a lot more bougie.
Yeah, I will say with Golden's downtown is pretty much the epitome of what everyone talks about, those wild, wild west mountain cities that Colorado is kind of known for, right? And so there's a few other ones they could think about up in the mountains, but before getting into the mountains, this is going to be that right there. When people are coming to visit here, they're like, I want to go check out Golden downtown because it's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, so with that and how that changes the vibe a little bit, these are going to be two cities comparably I would say are pretty similar when it comes to tourists coming in and visiting. You're gonna have people who live there, you're gonna have students who are visiting, and then you're gonna have tourists that are there, to experience. Like if they come to Colorado, they want to see Golden, they want to see Boulder, they want to see Denver, and then some want to see Fort Collins and Colorado Springs. But majority of the time when they're coming, they are going to be visiting these two cities. So that is something that I think is pretty comparable when looking at their downtowns, is you're going to get a mix of different people.
All right, the fifth thing that we're going to be covering in regards to these two cities is the proximity of them to certain things. So we're talking about Denver, DIA, and then also if you want to get over into the ski resorts, which is super popular in Colorado, obviously. And so if you want to go from Golden, Colorado over into Denver, you're looking at about a 26-minute drive. Obviously, if there is traffic, that might be a little bit longer, and if we're going over to Boulder, you're looking at about a 36-minute drive. So Golden is definitely closer in regards to the drive over into Denver.
I will say when comparing both cities, to get like the accessibility to Denver is really great, because you're going to take 36 all the way to Boulder, which is kind of a straight shot, and then you can also take, I guess the best way would be probably to take 58 to 70 to I-25.
That's what it mainly, so when I mapped this out, that's what it did do.
Yeah, I think it's the fastest.
You can also take Highway 6 though. Highway 6 will take you directly into Denver, so you can just take 6 all the way down. And then also you got I-70, it'll eventually meets around when, if you didn't get off on 58, down on the south side of Golden.
Yeah.
That's actually another great thing about Golden is you have so many different access points. Where Boulder, it seems like you just have the one. I mean, you have 93, which is like a back highway that goes into the back end of Boulder. But
that's more scenic.
Exactly, yeah. Otherwise, like to get to Boulder, you just take 36 straight there, and that's pretty much it.
I do like the fact though that both cities have highway access instead of having, because that's where you start really tacking on the time, is when you have to go kind of back roads in order to get to a highway, and that's just not the case with either of these cities.
Yep.
Now, if you are travelers like us, you're probably wondering, okay, how long does it take from each of these cities to get over to Denver International Airport, our largest airport? That is going to be 38 from Golden, so 38 minutes, not too shabby. If you go over to Boulder, it's going to be 49 minutes, so just slightly farther. But I will say the magic trick with Boulder is going to be that tollway. And that tollway, actually, it really only takes off, I guess it's about 43 minutes. However, the drive is so much nicer going that way that we typically will pay. That is going to be a little pretty penny if you're going all the way from Boulder over, but I will say it's probably worth it.
Well, and these numbers that we're giving you right now, these estimated times, that's without traffic.
That's without traffic.
And so think about that. You're 49 minutes from Boulder over to DIA. If you run into a bunch of traffic and you got that toll exit right there, it's like, screw it, I'm going like, toll, because it'll bring you right there, right? And so that's one good thing about Boulder is you do have access to that toll, whereas in Golden, you don't necessarily have a toll that you can't take all the way over to DIA.
Yeah, I will say, if I were living in each of these cities, even though I love Golden, I would much rather drive it from Boulder because of that toll. I hate driving I-70. I-70 is one of our largest highways going east and west, and so that is going to be very dramatic if you're having to take I-70 depending on traffic times.
Now, the last thing that we're going to be talking about in regards to proximity is how long is it going to take you to get to a ski resort from each of these. Golden is definitely closer to I-70, which is our main highway that goes up to the major ski resorts, right? And so what I did is I just mapped out pretty much going up to Loveland Ski, which is your closest one up, going up I-70. You're looking at about a 55-minute drive. Do not expect that because there's so much traffic during ski season that it's definitely, I'd say, closer to an hour and a half in order to get to Loveland Ski. If you're going from Boulder, you're looking at an hour 18. I'd say during ski season, you're probably looking at closer to two and a half hours. The good thing about Boulder, though, is you do have Eldora. Eldora is kind of like a local spot that's just pretty much right at Boulder Canyon that you can go to. If you want to go over there, it's literally only a 35-minute drive, and you're not going to be running into that traffic that you would on I-70 going up to Eldora.
Now we could talk about proximity and the timing all day long. It's going to be a way nicer drive going from Golden because you kind of cut off a little bit of that traffic of everyone cutting down to I-70. Boulder, if you were going that way, you're going to have to take that back highway, like Highway 93, to get to the same spot, and you're still going to end up at the entrance of kind of Golden to go back in there.
You have to go through Golden.
You're literally going to pass Golden to go to Boulder. We used to stop. Oh, they don't have it anymore. We used to stop right at the Golden exit, and there was like this kind of ghetto little convenient area, but it had the best breakfast burritos ever. We would stop early in the morning, get a breakfast burrito to try to beat the traffic. It's no longer there anymore, which is super sad, but the point is you have to literally almost drive through Golden in order to get up to the ski resorts.
The sixth and final thing that we are going to compare with these two cities is the weather in Golden and the weather over in Boulder, which it honestly isn't that much different. The thing about it that I will say is that when we're talking about wildfires, mudslides, Boulder is definitely more prevalent to these two things as opposed to Golden.
Even though the cities are they look like they're the same proximity and everything, Golden is actually 200 feet lower than Boulder. And so that affects mainly the wind, honestly.
Yeah.
The Golden does not get the same amount of wind as Boulder. Now you're still gonna get the same amount of snow and the same amount of rain and things like that, but it's going to be a little bit windier in Boulder than Golden.
Yeah.
And then Boulder also is a little bit more prone to like flooding than say, which actually is kind of confusing because Golden is lower. The way that Golden is situated, for some reason or another, it kind of protects away from that flooding.
Yeah, and so when we're talking about that rain, Golden usually gets around 19 inches of rain per year, whereas Boulder, 18 inches. So not that big of a difference. What are we talking about when we're talking about that snow in the wintertime? Golden gets about 73 inches per year, where Boulder gets 71. Not that much difference at all. Like, so the biggest thing is I just think that with Boulder being a little bit higher, that might be why they are more prone to a few of those natural disasters as opposed to Golden. I can't remember the last time Golden had a natural disaster. Like Boulder recently had the Marshall Fire, which pretty much hit the east side of it. They had the huge mudslide that was a few years ago. We actually have friends who have a cabin up in Lyons. Their house got hit really bad with that, which is super sad. That whole thing was horrible. But a lot of those happen because of the wildfires. Since the wildfires do get so much closer, you don't have those trees that hold in all the dirt. And so when you get a ton of rain, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have mudslides and stuff. So that's kind of something to look out for when we're talking about Boulder, Colorado.
All right, we have covered 6 things when comparing these two beautiful cities. I'll be honest, even though I grew up in Arvada right next to Golden, and Golden holds a special place in my heart, these two cities are absolutely stunning. You cannot go wrong. So if this is content that you like, please hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and hit the notification bell so you're notified every single time that we put out a new video.
Yeah, guys, why don't you leave a comment down below, let us know what city appeals to you more, because I know there's some... Golden blows up. Like every time we cover Golden, you guys love Golden and all that stuff. Boulder really hasn't too much. I don't know what the thing is about that. So let us know which city you like after kind of watching this video.
Show us some Boulder love. If you like Boulder, give us a thumbs up. If you stuck around the song, if you love Boulder, like yes, we love Boulder. You guys are wrong. Give us a thumbs up. If we see a bunch of thumbs up, we'll know that we need to cover Boulder more.
And of course, guys, if you are looking at purchasing real estate in the Denver metro area, we're talking about Fort Collins all the way down to Colorado Springs. Give us a call or text the phone number right below. Right below right there, we always answer. It doesn't matter day or time. And until next time, we love you. Bye. Giving you everything that you must know if you plan on another similarity.
The other thing I thought was interesting is even though they're kind of like literally north and south of one another.
Yep.
Is that right?